people really believe that you're going to fire Buff Bagwell over one bad match? Come on, man. Do you really believe out there in video world that Buff Bagwell got fired because his mother? Do people really believe that I had my mother call the WWF and say, let him off Augusta in Birmingham? Well, fuck no, that's not true. Why would I do that? But people believed it. And one person was responsible, Jim Ross. And only God, Jim Ross, and me know the truth. And who's going to believe me? Nobody. God ain't here to tell me. He's not on video. And Jim's going to say, hey, you know. And when I called Jim out on it, of course, he said, hey, you know, it's a bad job firing people. And didn't take the full heat for it. But the true story is Jim Ross created that monster, and people believed it.
Why do you think Jim Ross had heat with you? Why do you think you got fired?
That's why Will let Jim Ross off the hook. It may not have been Jim. Jim made the call, and that's the route he took. He said, hey, it's a shitty job what I got here. It's a job I got to do. I got to call people. You know, it's a bad job.
You've heard his podcast, right? What he talked about?
No, I didn't.
His quote was, my former job as head WWE talent relations was oftentimes a thankless job. I never relished in firing people, and it only makes sense that if a talent could help a company, that I wanted them to make it. I'm sorry Mark feels like he does. I'm sure he believes what's there is true, but I never went out of my way to cause him any misery. I just was the guy that had to deliver the bad news. That's what he claims.
And like I said, to be honest with you, that could be true, but somebody, and I was told it was Jim, somebody started, the mother called in, and I verbally, what Jim's leaving out right there is on video. You can go out into the video world and you'll know where to get it. They have a round table meeting and Jim Ross rips my fucking ass out. So if you're so right, Mr. Jim Ross, about your poor little job, and I feel so bad about this, and oh, I hate it for me. Why'd you fucking rip my ass out in the fucking round table? I mean, I didn't even see it because my dad told me not to watch it. But I know there's a video out there, and the videotape came out as me and Luger on the cover. It said Heat Seekers. And it's Michael P.S. Hayes, it's that cocksucker Mike fucking Graham, and it's fucking dick-sucking Jim Ross, and it's a couple of guys that hate the young, good-looking kids. And they went out on tape, so go find it, Jim, and look at yourself. Dog me the fuck out. When you lick my ass at WCW, follow me around like a little fucking puppy dog, asking me how my football career was, and blew me half the time you were fucking there, and then you try to bury me and say you didn't say nothing. Well, go back and look at that tape, and then say that, and you know what that equals? Is a fucking liar, Jim. You're a fucking liar. You went out, you started this fucking rumor that ruined my career, so I hope your fat ass, stroke face, one eyeball feels good about that, you cocksucking fat piece of shit, okay?
How do you really feel about Jim?
Yeah, really, that's just kind of being blunt about it.
Right. So my next question, and I guess the answer would be no, is do you think you could ever mend fences?
Absolutely not. There's no way.
Have you ever seen him at any conventions or anything?
Never seen him once.
Okay.
Never seen him once, but there's no way to mend a fence, brother, of costing me my life.
Yeah.
Jim Ross, I feel, and I just proved on tape where Jim Ross ruined my career. He started this fucking rumor about my mother and ruined my career. How do you mend that fence?
It's true.
How do you do that? Now, do I think he's the mastermind behind it all? Absolutely not. It wasn't his idea to have me and Booker in starts with a T out, Tacoma, Washington, where we wrestled that night on Raw. It wasn't his idea to do that main event and realize. I think something fell apart along the way, but I do think that Jim had all to do with what I'm talking about the mother calling the office and starting that rumor, and everybody believed it. And I think Jim was 1,000% behind that, and there's no way to keep from saying it. So.